about adversity is going through personal challenges and living through that experience as an adverse impact, which can happen in many different forms. So thanks for joining me. Today I wanted to explore this topic on how adversity can be a gift. Then the questions would be, how can it be, as adversity most of the times shows up as can be complex in terms of the emotional involvement that it entails, especially if it's a painful experience, if it's turbulent, if it's riddled with fear, anxiety in some aspects, and a lot of other overwhelming feelings. So a case in example can be the current situation that we're going through this pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic. That how can this situation be a gift? So today, as I was getting ready early in the morning, I was reflecting of this encounter that I had with a monk. But before I even go on, let me just introduce myself. My name is Chiko. Thanks for connecting with me. If we're connecting for the very first time, welcome. And for the return viewers, I appreciate you. Remember to hit the subscribe button below to be kept up to date with my videos and video uploads as well. Yeah, that's what I meant to say basically. Okay, let me just grab my glass of water before we get started. So I've just gone from having a visitor to hopping on here to recording this, and I'm also creating a blog post as well on my Existential Life Matters blog post, where you will find more detailed information as well. Okay, so I once met this monk, and he's just a representation of the people that I've encountered throughout my life. So these people are representative of figures that sometimes we may not notice them when we are caught up in times of adversity. They can be silent people who are there, or people who are vocal, so silent in terms of their presence, and they help us get out of difficult and challenging situations. So either silent or vocal. So this monk showed up when I was in South Africa. I was going through a very life-challenging experience where my late little sister was in a critical condition in hospital, and I had left the hospital. I was going to pick up just a few groceries before I went to rest. So this was like over a month or so of being there, what ended up being a 3 months period. So through that period, I was going through like meditation. I found a small meditation room in the hospital, as well as when we were like in the apartment where we're staying, I would also do some yoga exercises. But on this particular day, it was like a very hot day. I was very exhausted, emotionally drained. And as I was about to go and pay at the till, this presence started walking towards me, and he was outside, and I could see through the glass as he was walking towards me. And as he was getting closer, I started to realize that he was a monk. For some reason, my vision seemed blurred, and I thought, oh, I'm just imagining this. So as he got closer, because it was very hot as well on that day, as he got closer, and I was like, oh, he's a monk. And something in me wanted to say something to him, but I couldn't say anything to him. So he continued to walk, and he walked past me, and I felt like I was frozen in time. Something kept saying, turn around, say something to him, but I didn't. I was just stuck and frozen, and it all happened within seconds. I lost that opportunity, but it's not actually lost, because I gained a lot more just by that encounter, which I can never articulate very well in terms of the presence that I felt within that given moment. Even him just walking towards me, I felt something lift within my chest. The pain that I was going through lift and start to ease. And there was something about his aura, his presence, that made me awaken to something, to be present in the moment. So he came with a gift of like hope, of light, an optimistic outlook, which at the time I was trying to hold on to, but I was struggling with it. And he reinforced that without actually saying a word to me. but somehow magically that moment happened. So this is what I mean by silent people who show up in our lives that have an impact wherever we may be, in terms of when you're going through like life adversities. And it is always helpful to pay attention to those moments. So that was like my encounter mentally and physically. It made me look at adversity in a different way. That adversity, or when you're caught in that moment of being impacted by something, it's very difficult to look beyond. And the lesson, it's not about seeking perfection, not feeling, being strong, getting over it. It's never about that. It's about feeling, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to accept what is happening in that given moment, and to not let it burden you, overly consume you. That's what I mean by burden in terms of mindset wise. So you still have those moments where you're able to separate yourself from what is going on in terms of the complex thing that you're dealing with. Sometimes it can be a life and death matter. Sometimes it can be what we're being confronted by now. But it's to have those moments, whether you're religious, spiritual, you just like to take time out, where you're able to just be with yourself and to be able to reflect on what is going on, to tap into something so that you're able to ease some of that pain. And what that does is help you to move beyond, so that you can slowly start to see the lessons. So the lessons is, obviously there's nothing great or fantastic about having a pandemic. Loss is the most challenging experience anyone would ever have to go to, would ever have to need to even go through. But this is part of life, is that it challenges us in so many ways, and it never stops bringing in adversity into our lives. So it is about embracing those moments, appreciating them for what they are, extraordinary circumstances, then looking within mentally as well to figure out what is the solution going to be going forward. Okay, going forward, it may be that you may need just time out to figure things out. And I don't believe in just getting over things, but you may just need time out to help you to move beyond. Or it may also be looking at, let me look at this current situation, that probably for most of us, it's just, this situation is showing us that there's certain things that we could be doing different in our lifestyle. So an example would be like, the lesson that is showing us is that we need to be more sanitary, as an example. Sanitize things a lot more, be more cautious around hygiene, sanitation, be more mindful and aware about nutrition, about like exercise, about health supplements, as in vitamins, because those are the things that will safeguard you and protect you with your immune system. So I'm just giving you examples of that. And then the opposite aspect of it, through loss, it might also be to appreciate that we're not here forever, and not to take it for granted, to appreciate that you've still got something to contribute to in life. So it's these awakening moments that give you that opportunity to then do something about it. So your awakening might be that as a result of being confronted or challenged by your own mortality. My case, in example, would be going through like fibromyalgia, where it felt like in the beginning, when I didn't know that what the condition was, it felt like my body was just depleting and I didn't know what was going to happen. It felt like I could potentially die, excuse me. That's what it felt like. And then going through having coronavirus symptoms, again, mentally and physically, I was challenged. But in those moments, there was still, although I went through like the emotional turmoil and the challenges physically as well, there was still something in me saying that do whatever it takes to fight. Okay, so there were little voices appearing especially when I had coronavirus symptoms, saying to me, you will not lie down, you will run, even if it's at a ridiculous hour, you would do certain health like routines in terms of regimens, you know, eating root-based stuff, vitamins, just anything to keep that survival mode. So that's what adversity is about. It's about still feeling the pain itself, but also being able to acknowledge that you have got what it takes to move beyond. Let me just look at what I wrote on my Instagram post as well. So in terms of looking back, my lessons that I've learned, and looking back, let me start over again. Looking back, this is what I've learned, that there's still room for hope, an optimistic outlook, and room for personal growth regardless of what's going on. It may not happen immediately, you might not see what you need to see, but always keep an open mind to know that those moments are not meant to be there. Just as they came, they will eventually go. Through all the pain, fear, grief, anguish, there's still room to find solutions and to gain a path going forward. So I'll leave you with my message to you. I hope you know that you are courageous, resilient, more than you know. Not necessarily strong, because I don't believe in the word strong, but courageous. You have what it takes to overcome whatever situation that you may be going through, and in your own time. Your personal story of adversity, looking back, is what will make you rather than break you. It will make you stronger, because looking back, there's always lessons that make us grow. So there's always 2 paths or 3 paths, if you wanted to add an additional one, where you either go forward or you divert a little bit or stay in the middle, testing things out. The path going forward is the path where you have the resilience to find solutions even through difficult times, to keep your mind and your physicality still here, still present. And then there's the divergent route, where it takes longer to find your way back into the straight path. And some people sometimes need to go through that path in order to rediscover who they are. You do not need to be perfect or strong, you know, and that's the pressure externally within society, is that when adverse impacts happen, is that, oh, show up, you know, looking perfect or being perfect because you're strong, you get over it, and you know, to present this image in your own time. And it's also good sometimes to show who you are. Being vulnerable does not make you weak. It just shows that you are a human being who also has emotions, who also has gone through life experiences. And those life experiences are what will connect you with other people who can resonate, or people who may also feel that you have helped them in some way, even if that may not be your intention. There's always a lesson somebody else is going to learn as a result of hearing you. So when I say you, I'm talking about creative entrepreneurs, because that's who I mainly in my community I'd also talk to in terms of creative entrepreneurship. But this relates to anybody in any given situation as well, whatever situation you may be in life. Why I say creative entrepreneurs is because entrepreneurship journeys can be lonely. More challenges can come personal, and going at it alone in entrepreneurship, that sometimes you may feel like, oh, I just need to keep going, rather than taking time out and reflecting or seeking support. You have the willpower to fight through mentally and physically. Believe in you, and adversity won't win over your mindset. So that's what it boils down for me. Adversity is all about these experiences, turbulences that come and go in life. And they come to test our will and what we can contribute in terms of experiencing those events that trigger certain things within us. So it is about your mindset in terms of training it through self-development, through meditation, through physical activity, yoga, whatever is something that you enjoy doing, dancing, whatever it may be, to help you to not be ready, but be mindful that those events may potentially happen. And when they happen, you allow them. You understand that this is part of life. Okay, so when I say allow, it's about creating that headspace mentally to say that this is another event that's happening in life. It is not the be and all of everything. There's always going to be a solution, and the solution is about how will your mindset withstand the challenges that have come through. So thank you for connecting with me. I hope you have resonated with what I have shared, and I look forward to connecting with you on my next video. So this was really an impromptu video, just going through adversity. Let me know what your experience has been like of facing adversity and what you have done to overcome it, to manage it. So I'll leave it here for today. Ciao for me for now. Until next time.